Edwin Bear says, one item that has stubbornly resisted organizing in my workspace is spare connection and or charging cables. Yeah. I always seem to have too many. Well, sure you do, because your phone just comes with more of them. But at the same time, I can never find the one I need when I need it. Can you share your shop mentality for organizing spare charging and connector cables? Okay, so the caveat I want to lead with here is that my organizational strategies are all temporary in my head. They're all like, this works for now. That's the way I think about them. Currently, I have a spectacular system for organizing my cableage because I've been a laptop user since 1993. Yeah, man, I've got cables going back decades. My current cable storage, and I just did this a few months ago, is I went into my office, into the bin of all the USB cables, because of all the cables we all have, I think we all have the most of USB cables. So I went into my drawer with all the USB cables and I spent a couple of hours sorting them by type. Micro, mini, C, A, the old style A, some other, right, those weird USB that goes to the hard drives with the extra, yeah. And then I divvied them all up into 1 gallon Ziploc bags. Not Ziploc, I mean, these are Kirkland. I love 1 gallon sandwich bags like this for storage. So what I did was, each of these bags was enough to hold all of each type of cable that I had. And I have a drawer that has USB-A to A, USB-A to C, USB-C to micro, USB-A to micro, A to lightning. I have every freaking thing you could imagine. And they're all separated out like this, and they're all written here. In the cave, it's a little less organized because it comes up so much less. But I have dedicated a Sortimo to both some cables, USB cables, some charging blocks, and also hookup cables, right? Like component cables and also like all of the audio stuff. This is where I keep I need to connect this device to that machine bin. And this actually doesn't live on the Sortimo rack. It lives on my sort of rolling speaker stand because it gets used so much more regularly. I also have been doing a ton of storing things, hold on one sec, in some much bigger bags. These bags, which are 8 mil, and I think it's 18 by 24 inches. I've covered these on the channel before. They're spectacular project boxes. Oh, what is this going to be? Oh, eventually I'm going to replicate the Toussaint necklace from Ocean's 13. And I'm going to end up drawing it out on this, and then I have all the correct stones in here to do it, just because I've always wanted to make that stone. Yeah. That's how I store my cables. Just one more thing about why I think the 1 gallon plastic bags are so ideal is there's no parity between how many you have of one cable and the other cable. And these move and expand and allow the sorting to sort of be dynamic. And for me, since I've done this, my life has been very, very easy. But you got to go to all those drawers in your house and find all those USB cables you've been ferreting away. So, Sentient AI, that's your username? Sentient AI. Do you have suggestions for makers who live in apartments? I have resources saved for using like plastics, metal, wood, and paper, but I have no idea what creative things I can do. In another life, I would love to have a television show in which I traveled around the country, like helping people build shops into non-standard spaces. That would be really, really fun. I want to tell you, by way of inspiring you, that when George Lucas started production on the Star Wars prequels in the mid-90s, he, of course, tapped the Industrial Light and Magic model shop's talent pool for making prototypes for the ships and characters and settings that the Star Wars prequels would encompass. But I think he was clear he didn't want to constantly be commuting from the ranch down to the model shop. So he brought a couple of model makers, John Goodson and John Duncan, up to the ranch, where in the big building, in the big house, which is the one you've always seen in pictures, it's where the library is, it's where the cafeteria is. On the third floor of that house was where John Goodson and John Duncan built all the prototypes for all of the prequels. They spent months and months and months and months in an office, not a shop. It's carpeted. It's lovely woodwork. And they laid out a lot of plastic and work surfaces, and they protected everything, and they even had fume retrieval and stuff like that. And they turned a staid, nice office into a working shop that was able to be, converted back. I found it very inspiring. I got to work up in that room for about 5 weeks. Mark Siegel and I built the first foam core model of the arena up there. If you're going to build a shop into a very small space, I would recommend that the first thing you really need is a work surface. I can suggest to you that for a portable, breakdownable work surface, you would do well to go check out Laura Kampf's channel. Kampf. Laura Kampf is one of the world's great human beings. I love her so much. She's a good friend. We've collaborated on this channel. And Laura lived for a long time in a tiny house and has a build on her channel of building a portable workbench that you can set up and take down. That is, I feel like, your very first thing. You're going to need to decide what you're going to make and how those tools are going to become available to you. Are they in cases that come out? And I'm asking these questions not to get to an answer within this, but to really let you know that building a shop is always about just watching yourself work and figuring out what modalities work and don't work, and trying to keep the ones that do and slowly get rid of the ones that don't. Sometimes it can take a long time to get rid of a modality that doesn't work. But within the small shop space, there are some questions. Do you have roommates? Are they rigid about you cleaning up after yourself? I mean, you should be cleaning up after yourself if you're living with other people, but it's also the perfect can be the enemy of the good. What does your landlord think of it? That's another question. I had a storage space in one of my apartment buildings, and I put a shop in it, which I used very happily for the better part of a decade. And then my landlord saw it, and he was like, you got to shut that down. You can't have a shop down there. And I lost my shop. These are the things that happen. Besides all that, I am positive, and I can't believe I've never done this before, but I'm positive there are some YouTube channels devoted to small space workshops. I've been, okay, since it's the beginning of 2026, I think it's reasonable to tell you that I have a goal this year among several, but and yes, finishing the safe, the vault is one of them. But one of my goals this year is to build a guitar. I've spent enough time watching Ted Woodford repair guitars to delude myself into believing that I can maybe make a guitar. We will see how I go. But why was I telling you that I'm making a guitar? Oh, right. It's because it's been a whole new flavor of watching other luthiers do various processes on guitars. All sorts of different things. So I'm sort of warming myself up to the practice by watching videos. Yeah, I would just start checking out other YouTube channels. I mean, obviously, the socials are really useful. So it could be Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you for watching. I wanted to talk to you about Tested membership. The Tested members are a key community that we find really, really remarkable. That's very separate from Tested and from YouTube. The Tested members, they buy each other memberships during our live streams. So if you're wondering whether to become a member, watch one of our live streams and someone may just give you one. It is hard to overestimate how much the the tested members actually make possible on this channel. They give us a lot of wiggle room. They give us a huge amount of feedback.
That's a member right now.
Thank you so much for enjoying your membership. Description for everything you need to know. And for all the members out there, thank you, thank you, thank you.